Good evening and welcome to a new food4Rhino webinar. It's been a while that we haven't organized one. And welcome to Mohammad Hassan Saleh Tabari, if
Yeah,
I
you can
pronounce it well.
shorten it. Yeah, you can shorten it to Muhammad. That's fine.
Okay. Mohammad is currently finalizing his PhD in computational design at the University of Innsbruck in Austria. And he has been designing and developed Termite since 2020. Termite is an intelligent design copilot that helps architects and designers generate floor plans, spatial layouts, and unit distributions in minutes. In this new version, it also uses AI. And Mohammed will show during this webinar how Termite connects with Rhino, with Grasshopper, also with Revit, and how you can integrate AI into early design workflow without changing your tools. He will show how Termite accelerates early stage design decisions, optimize special configurations, and adapts to your design intent, whether you're working on a single building or on a more large scale project. As always, these webinars last 45 minutes, including presentation and live demo. And during the last 15 minutes, please feel free to use the chat with any questions or feedback you have. I will pass this to Mohammed. And remember also that the webinar is being recorded, so in case you miss any part of it, tomorrow it will be available on our YouTube channel. So again, welcome Mohammed, and thanks for being here. We are eager to see what Termite AI offers to our Rhino and Grasshopper community.
Right. Thank you so much, Carlos, for the introduction. And I have prepared a presentation that starts with my background. And actually, I have a small agenda that starts from who am I and how Termite is shaped and formed over years, and what are the what's the status that we have, and what's the vision that we have that we are going to reach in 2026 and going forward. And I'm eager to start. So I'm starting sharing the screen. So first of all, we have, okay, yeah. So you can see my screen now, yeah? Great. So I have to start
Yes.
speaking. There we go. Yeah, you have my presentation. Great. So I'm very happy to be here, actually. That's a very pleasure to be in this webinar. So as I mentioned, the content just goes through all these these topics. So I start with who am I? I'm a former computational designer, researcher, that I started computational design from my master, let's say, yeah, from the master degree time, and I was working in remote with Houston and Cornell University. And after a while, I was a computational designer and project director in research and development group of the half panel company in Tehran. And then I started my PhD in differential geometry and AI in Innsbruck University. That I'm in finalization phases now. But Termite was always beside of all these paths. And actually, it starts within the time of, let's say, it has been started since 2020 that we released the plugin for our Grasshopper, and we had one workshop in Kadria 2020, and then we got a lot of traction from the community that we saw that automation in layout generation is very interesting for not only in research, in academia, also in industry, also from the vision of the architects that who are looking for some sort of a solution to the problem that exists in repetitive works. And so in 2022, we started to have some more advanced technology development. And we started to separate the engine of the Termite from the CAD software, so it to convert it as a hub that can be connected to any software And then we had a version release in 2023. We had a little bit of feedback from community, from some users, and then we had the chance to present our software in Startup World Cup in Austria, and we were one of the finalists. And over all this journey, we learned a lot from the community, and we tried to input as much as we can into the product. And now we have a dashboard that has a power of the AI engine that we generated, that we developed, that generates the layout, and has a dashboard that connects to Revit and Rhino. At the moment, it supports Rhino, Revit, and Grasshopper. So Termite in 2020 was something like that, that it was very basic, that I was working inside Rhino with Grasshopper. And then as I just mentioned, then this is the 2022 that we developed a small web app. It wasn't that small actually, but it was in comparison to what we're looking for. It was the issue was the sync between the Rhino, and it was independent. So the connection between the CAD software with that was a little bit hard for users. And then we started to modify and updating that. And then this is the dashboard that we have already at the moment that syncs with Rhino and Revit in real time. You can update any data, and then you can create layouts and convert it to the plan and export it back. So the status that we have is that uh, from the food4Rhino since 2020, we had more than 6,000 downloads. We had a lot of great names from companies and users that were in list, and we were very happy to see that the plugin has this, let's say, traction rate, and how people are looking to have tools like that in their workflow. From the mid October that we had the first release of the new dashboard in one of the webinars we got more than 200 waiting lists. That is increasing exponentially, and we are very happy with that actually. And we love to start to expand in let's say in faster rate, that we can respond to all of them in shorter time. But we have started onboarding 5 companies at the moment, and we have batch selection of the waiting list, and we will contact them as soon as we have the free resources to start onboarding them. But you can just go into our website, book a demo. You will receive automatically a meeting date, and then we will be happy to have a meeting with you and understanding your needs, and then based on that, delivering the product to you. And the Termite dashboard at the moment has a workflow of it's a session-based web app that that at the moment we have one session ready for the delivery. I will talk about the new sessions and what we have as a surprise for 2026 at the end of this webinar. This session works basically as an assistant that supports you in your design. No matter if you're using Revit or Rhino or Grasshopper, you can generate the boundary of the building. You just use the template of the physical programs that you can sync with dashboard that I'm going to show you how it works. And then you decide where to put what space, and then Termite converts that decisions into some sort of a layout shape, and then within the 3D viewer, you can convert it to the plan and then export it as a DWG, or sync it with the Revit as a BIM model, or have an IFC export. And then shortening talks, showing more about how it works. Then, as I mentioned, the session is some sort of a workspace that you have. So the first step in any session is the physical program. And here you can see that you can have any type of spaces or any with any name. So it's actually your own data set that you create with Termite, and it's unique to yourself. And then you can save it and use it later, and you can expand it within your projects. So you don't have to start from scratch every time. So and you can always have huge list of spaces, but select just or filter them for any different session that's possible, of course. as I'm going to show you in the live demo. So functions or programs that we have here are residential, official, or let's say retail, hospital, anything. We have a category of 30 programs at the moment, and how it works is basically this is the data that shapes the space. So Termite is object-oriented based on the spaces. And when you're building your data set of spaces, it's going to it's going to place the spaces with the geometry that represents your own preferences as much as possible. Basically, you're not dependent on any previous data set of the building layout, but you're building your own data set and growing it through the interaction with Termite. So as I mentioned, you just can save the template and you can use it later. And so now I'm going to dive into the live demo to see how these sessions work and then how you can start uh, generating some spaces and how you can modify it. So then, then I go to my Rhino file that I have the first file here with my termite dashboard beside. So this example is a small house that we have it here. So I turn off, you can see that this mask, for example, I just tried to make it a bit interesting, actually, a little bit challenging that there is a atrium here, so there is no possibility to have light here, for example. So I'm going to hide the mask and I have two floors here. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use Termite to generate the layout here in the ground floor. To start that, I start with a session. I write it down as a duplex ground. I create a session here. So I'm in the session of the duplex ground. I call the termite within the Rhino, and then it opens up the plugin form. So it goes here. I bring it back to the window number one. So how it syncs, how Termite can be connected with your Rhino Revit is through your token and your session. So the token is something that we will give you, and through the installation, you will initialize it, and then Termite will remember it, and you will be always connected to Termite through that token. And then you use the session ID. So here I'm using the duplex ground, so I give it the session name to it. And here you can see I have no spaces here. I'm using the data that I have archived for myself, and then it's going to read the data. And you can see, so it's basically the list of spaces with the size of them, programs, and other attributes related to the aspect ratio, daylight, and programs. So then I'm ready to start. So I have my all spaces listed and Termite reads them. And what is needed is to start syncing Termite with dashboard with Rhino. I start with syncing the boundary. I select the boundary, and then it will be presented here in my 3D viewer of the dashboard. Right here. So the next is I'm going to set the preferences of the location. So here to remember, because I was trying a lot of different things today, so I would just set a template for myself that I'm going to present it here. So what I'm doing is I'm just opening up this selection, space selection, and I pick a point and I just select a location that I'm looking for. And also Termite understand the Z level, both in Rhino and Revit. So if you have multiple levels, you just need to put the points there, and then it automatically detects the level for you and generates everything in that specific level. So, and then I put bedroom 1 here. Yeah, or bedroom 2, no difference. And then I connect this one here, bedroom 1. Then I need the bathroom between of these two, for example. I'm putting bathroom 1. Then there is a bath. Okay, so you can see I have a list of a lot of spaces here, but I can select and filter them. So it's not necessary to use all of them. So you can just have some that you are going to use for this specific plan. And then I'm going to add a small storage, for example, here. Mm, Here. Then the next would be family lounge and the living room in the center. And then I add dining kitchen. So that's what I'm putting here. And because I want to have this atrium being fixed for multiple levels, so both levels must have this place opened and termites should not enter that place. I close this part and use fixed geometry and just say to termite, okay, this is the fixed geometry that you should not touch. And then I give it the name of the atrium. I press OK and then I submit, and everything will be presented now in my dashboard. And once I have the all data here, I just press generate layout, and then the layout is generated. So the process is super fast from generation to output. And then you can of course modify the results and modify the position, changing the names, adding hallways, and then you can generate multiple new layouts. It's just let's say playtime that you will have with Termite. And once you are happy with, and I will show you the, some other examples that we had. And then once I have the output, I can select it and then I can add vaults to it. And then I can start drafting it easily. I just can trim, for example, I don't want to have vaults here. I trim them. So, or I can also even trim these parts here, just keep a bit of the wall, and then it trims the wall for me. Or if there is some sort of a small tiny glitches, you can just modify it. And then it comes to oh, here also I have a bit for, so if you miss something, you can just add additional one if you want to cut this, but I want to keep this, it's fine for me. So that's it. And then I come to doors. I can add a door here, and then one for the bedroom here, one for the bedroom here, and one from the inside to this bedroom, and then one for the storage and one for the entrance, for example, here. And then I press OK, and everything is set up there. And I can also see the layouts, tags of them as well. And once I'm happy, I'm just exporting that. And so at the moment, for the Rhino, we have the export of the DWG, and then you can just import it into your Rhino, and everything will be presented here easy with the vault doors and everything in different layers predefined. So basically, that's how you can add it. And then, oh, I just forgot to add some window. I can add some window here, for example, here. I can add it to atrium. Here, I can add some more. And then I can export it again. So now windows are added. So that's basically the whole process, how you sync Termite, how you generate, and then how you can modify and add vaults and doors. And so here I have a session prepared before for the duplex first floor here. And when I go there, I can see then there I added the hallway. So here, if I go to the first layer, so I turned off the ground floor. Okay, from here. So, and I can go to the preferred location and clear those enumerates, so I don't want to see them anymore. here I can see that this is my first floor that I have, that this one has a hallway. So hallway is something that you can define the access with, and it's helpful when when you want to have some sort of control over the design, that you want to see how it affects the circulation of the space and how the space management or space arrangement will be updated. One other thing is that you may have multiple layouts prepared, and you want to pass it to a colleague or friend, or to update it and add the layouts, so you can share a session. You can share a session, and then you can start to modify it as a team together. It's also possible. So as an example, I have it here. I just import the values for this one, and then I can get the outputs, everything prepared, and then I can just export it and import it into my Rhino. So there we are. So we have both levels prepared now, and it's all generated. So this is the DXF file. So, and one other example I want to show you is an example with the home complex that we have. So I close the plugin here. I come to this one. So here we have a little bit more challenging geometry. So, and this is a home complex that has multiple levels, and also inside it has a duplex that is connected by an interior staircase, a stair that exists inside. And because we have a customized physical program, it's possible to have variations of the spaces. We are not limited to a certain type of the building, let's say, physical programs. You can have your own as much as you want. So I just change it to the level 1 and come here. I can show you that here is my layout for this one. I can just turn off the mass, and then I come here and you can see it. And here, this is level 1. I just select it, and then I can have vaults. And if you want, you can also update it, not just in Rhino. Once you have it synced with your Termite dashboard, you can just update the position of the spaces here as well. So I turn on the location tab tags, and then I just, for example, moving this bathroom from here to here and confirm. And then I can just hide walls and press generate button. Oh, I just forgot to update the location first. So I have to update the locations, then Termite loads it, and then it's possible to generate a new data. So now you can see it's updated, the position is changed. So you can basically update anything. So we can modify the hallways, you can update even you can update the size of the spaces from the physical program coming back. So it's back and forth. Termite is always synced and linked. You can update anything. And then I have the file of this plan also, because one of the parts that we already learned from the users was that they wanted to have possibility to update the interior of the space, so to have intervention. So it's not just one thing that is generated and they cannot update the walls or trim it or add something, but they want it to be fast and easy. So that's why we were thinking that preparing a easy drafting here that you can use. And of course, we are frequently updating that, and we will be very happy to hear your expectation of that. So how would you think it would be better? And we also have some news about how we will update it that I'm going to talk about later. So then I just use the level 1 file, which will be integrated in dashboard, and then that's it. I have it, and I can just export it now. And I put it here and import it. And that's it. I have this here in this level. Then it comes to the level 2. For example, for level 2, we had a little bit more of the exploration. We started with long hallway, and we had some sort of lower number of the spaces. We had we had living room and open space to look to the let's say the floor below. But we updated that, and we explored some of the variations, and then we came to this part that we can have. So how we can fit maybe 3 bedrooms inside it, and if you look at the names, you can see that there are variations in type of spaces, home theater, bedrooms, or whatever you want to have. So it's possible to have your own physical program, of course. And yeah, I'm going to show you also this one, for example, that converts it and then I can export and add this one as well. And as I mentioned, it automatically detects the level and comes to the position that it must be. So you don't need to think about and be worried about it. And it always considers the axis as the mid of the wall, and then offsets it around it. And one of the and it's possible, if I go back to presentation here, I can continue on. Oh, let's start from the beginning. So it's possible to have it even arc shape. So for example, we had a 9-unit apartment here, and it's possible to have it in a rotated angle in this different orientation, or it can be arc shape or organical geometry, and Termite is flexible in that sense, and we can start and generate multiple layouts and easily go for speed up process. In this test, we could generate whole 9 units in a very quick time. I would say it was less than 40 minutes, and we of course also explored some variation, and we double checked sometimes some things, and then we came back again. And yeah, so as you can see, it's possible to have it multiple times. You can update everything. You can have drafting. And if you're maybe you have seen this video, it's the video that we already presented in LinkedIn. So for advertisement that we were sharing, that it's possible for Termite now to be updated with the organic shapes as well. And today I just presented the orientation as well and levels. That is the newest feature that we had. We are going to add it to the upcoming releases for the early users. And so that's how Termite works actually. And what I'm going to talk about next is the updates and milestones that we had in mind that we're working on currently. One of them is that we are going to that we are challenging ourselves that how we can have some sort of a LLM model that is not just uh, let's say, so it's basically we are going to reinforce the physical program because we also heard and learned and we heard a lot from the users that they want to have building regulation constraints more integrated with the physical program. And one of the things is that we are going to add this into your physical program. So once you're creating your physical program, you can add some limitation of the widths, for example, axes, lines, some sort of regulation about the distances that will be integrated with your physical program. Termite will be updated to that. And another thing is that AI assistant connected to your dashboard that you can write down and connect with. And this relation canvas that you see here is something that you can identify the relation of the spaces within your physical program. So Termite not only just reads your positioning of the location, can also predict it for you based on your let's say based on your interaction. So over your interaction, Termite starts to create more let's say adapted layouts to your own preferences. So this is what we are working on. This is a huge milestone for us, and we have planned it and working on that you can have a fully let's say customized AI assistant to your workflow. So you have your own data set of physical program. You have your own AI that through the interaction with you learns from you and then continues with you. That's the aim of the Termite. And from the day one, we had this in mind, and we are now working on this process and working in the process to reach that. So this is one of the let's say short demos of that. And of course, Revit is something that we're working on. And I'm showing you that now the first part of the Revit is completed. That Termite now is possible to be synced with Revit as well. So you can start with rooms as a static spaces, and then Termite syncs automatically with that. And one of the other things is that you can maybe generate your concept with Rhino, and you have some initial forms of the building, and you can separate it and use Termite for the layout generation, and then you can sync it with your Revit. And that part will be ready soon, that we're working on. That Termite not only just reads the geometry of the Revit to be connected and generate the layout, also it uses the BIM native information, let's say the native BIM models or Revit families or types from the Revit, and converts what you are drafting into your 3D viewer as a 3D BIM model back in your Revit, which is something that you're providing. So as I mentioned here, you can provide this is the setting that you are adding in the Revit, that you can set up the type of walls, type of the windows, type of doors, and the level height here. And Termite is converting the layout generated into the full BIM model back into your Revit. That's what we are working on, and I'm going to present it soon, announce it soon in January 2026, and will be shipped to our early users as well. And so the benefit that we're looking for, let's say we're looking to provide a tool that is an interactive uh, app that just the design control is still yours. So as an architect, you control the design. You have ownership of the creativity that you want to have within the boundary to place the spaces, navigate it how you want to have it. And our AI is just something that comes as an assistant beside you to realize what you're thinking about and show it to you, and in a very fast rate convert it into the plan and show it as a model in your CAD software. So, and what we're looking for is to eliminate the black boxes. So it's not about that you write down a prompt and then you might have something that is similar to what you were thinking for, but is about what you want to have, and Termite creates it for you. And of course, Termite has a very fantastic team who they helped us to form Termite from 22 from the time 2020 until now. And Benjamin recently joined us and helps us in marketing and sale. And if you are booking a meeting, of course, Benjamin will be happy to guide you, and then we will set up the process. So then I'm almost finished, I would say. It was very fast forward, actually. So feel free to book a demo and get in contact with us. So we will be more than happy to hear your comments, your feedbacks, your expectation from the from what you are looking to have in your workflow as an architect, and what we can provide for you. And yeah, so that's it. Thank you.
Excellent, Mohammed.
Thank you.
Many thanks. Great presentation and great technology you've been
Thank you
adding
so
to
much.
Rhino and Grasshopper. There is very nice feedback from our users
Mhm.
and a few questions.
Yeah.
First one, For US architects, does it support imperial system?
Uh, Interior system, sorry, but
Imperial system.
imperial system. Imperial system unit. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Termite default.
Does it use the Rhino,
Yeah,
the Rhino?
yeah, I got you. I got you. Yeah. Actually, Termite works with a metric of the meter, but it's of course possible to consider it because we didn't try it actually, but we can test it, of course. If
Mhm.
you have interest in Termite, we will be happy to have some demo with that for one of your case studies, maybe, and then you can figure it out. But there would be no problem, I would say, because we are using units that scales
But
everything.
if in Rhino you change the units to imperial, to inches, does it automatically change also
Yeah,
to inches?
for Termite, automatically detects that. So it
Should. Okay,
automatically detects the metric. Yeah.
perfect. Another question is if there is a Mac version or if you plan to have a Mac version of your plugin
Uh,
for the Mac.
for the Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's one of the things. There would be no problem, I would say, because in Rhino, we are using the ETO and native SDK of the Rhino. So once you have a Rhino and it works with your Mac, then you will be easily it would be possible for you to use Termite as well. So there would be no problem.
Okay. Well, in case you need, this is more an internal thing between you and us, McLean. In case you need support to port Termite AI to the Mac, just let me know and we will help you.
Mhm.
What else? Yeah. John Haida asks, well, he's curious about the ability to specify wall types and door and window sizes. Is this
Yeah.
possible yet?
Yeah, as I just mentioned and I showed in the Revit connection, that's what we are developing now. So once you have your Revit and within your Revit, you have your types prepared and you sync it with Termite, it reads all the settings of the Revit and tries to keep those standards. So when you're using the draft of the dashboard, then it converts them into your standards. That's what we are doing now. So it will be released soon.
Okay, great, thanks. One
Mhm.
more question, this time this from Dorothy Gehring. No, sorry, first for Cheng De Wu. How robust is the algorithm for NURBS curves?
For NURBS curve, I have one GIF here that shows one of these NURBS curve and here as a organic shape, and uh, what we have is, of course, it depends on how you're defining the smoothness of your curve, actually. But Termite is quite flexible to that. And in our test cases with our test users, it was going smooth and okay, actually. So it supports the oriented and organic shape. So that's what we are aiming for to have it very easy.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it should. In
Mhm.
case, remind this to people that want to try termite.
Mhm.
If you have any model that doesn't work as you expect, contact directly
Mhm.
Mohammed
Yeah.
through info@termite tools,
Yeah.
and I guess they can check it. This time, yes, this question from Dorothy Gehring. Is the information 2D or 3D? Does the user have or need to extrude the walls?
Mhm. Yes, actually, this is a very interesting topic because, as I just presented, we have a DWG file that you export as a 2D, and when we are connected to Revit, as I mentioned, we have a to the BIM model, so it will be 3D when it comes back to Revit, because it is a BIM model. And of course, it is possible for us to create a, IFC format or let's say OBJ walls or
Mm.
3D models, but it depends on what use cases they're looking for. So in when they contact us, we can figure it out, and then we can easily just connect that part of the export, and then it will be integrated in their workflow. So they can export it in a format that fits them better. Yeah.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Another question, but Nur Elouda. guess he or she is French. Bonjour. Is
Mhm.
it possible to add other parameters such as sunlight exposure, ventilation, etc.?
Mhm. That's one of the things that we had some sort of a basis ready for that. And if you remember in the dashboard of the Termite, we had this program and also daylight and some sort of information that we were getting for in creation of the physical program. And that's the reason we put it already those information, because once we are releasing the feature, we want to have a default value in our database for your account. So based on that, we are using Open Studio, sorry, and also Energy Plus that automatically converts your let's say termite model into the BEM and calculates the energy, and then you can see the output. But it will be some sort of additional feature that comes into a new session. So as I mentioned, we have started with the first session of the termite that is only for layout planning. There will be
Mhm.
additional session, which is a session of the building mass, and building mass will support these things internally. Yeah.
Perfect. Now, Rena Logara asks if it can generate the spaces based on a grid, placing the walls every, for example, placing the walls every 900 millimeters,
So it means that you want to have a snapped it to a grid, some sort of.
or maybe parametrically tell the software I want the spaces every 900 millimeters. I mean, if you can.
Mhm. If you are looking to have a parametrical control, you can of course use Grasshopper to define the initial points, because now I was just collecting them from the Rhino by hand manually. But
Mhm.
I presented that in previous webinar that we had, that you can use Swiftly, for example, that calls the API. So you can use the API of a Termite and sync your dashboard, and then you can use Grasshopper to just feed the data. That's possible. So you can parametrically define the positions of the spaces, and then but there will be a limit rate, because if you want to use, for example, Galapagos, then it will be thousands of the inputs are
Mhm.
backend, and it will be a little bit heavy. So we have a limit rate that you cannot send like a very huge number of requests at a time.
Okay. One more question, this time from Alberto Bautista Arnaiz. Could you explain in depth the relationship between the Excel file with the square meters and how they relate to the spaces generated by Termite?
Mhm.
For example, square meters too big or too small, or do they have to be exact?
Mhm. Yeah, that's a good question actually, because it should not be exactly the same. Uh, Termite tries to fit as much as possible and be aligned with just with the sizes that you have inputted in your physical program. But if the building boundary is too small that it cannot fit in the exact size, it tries to uh, keeps the minimum ratio. The minimum ratio is something that we just use for, let's say, 1 meter or 1 meter and a half. So that's the minimum that we considered for termite. But as I mentioned, we also now try to keep the minimum within the physical program, so you can define the widths on your own. So for any specific spaces, you can define a different widths, and then termite will stick on that, and then it tries to fit it. But it shouldn't be exactly as much, because in the previous version we had this issue actually, and when the size
Mhm.
wasn't fit, Termite was giving error, and we had a little bit disappointing time for users that time. But now this new version is compatible, so don't worry about it. That's fine.
Okay, great.
Mm.
And now Seda Tosun wants to know if, in case you want to work with curvilinear forms, both interior and exterior, does it work?
Sorry, may I?
With curvilinear forms, I guess. It's same question of
Yeah.
if it works with
So
NURBS.
yeah, of course, as we have curvilinears for the outside, you can have your hallways curvilinear or even cylindrical shape. That's also possible. So there is no limitation on that. So you can have your hallway in an organic shape and everything will be lined up. I will present some maybe uh, demo on that. So it helps maybe users to have better vision on that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thanks. One more. This time I Cheng De Wu. Do you have educational licenses? I mean, do you have special
Educational.
pricing for students, teachers, or
Mhm.
educational institutions?
Yes, actually, we are now connected. We were in contact with some of the university and professors, and that they were asking to have access for educational purpose. And yeah, because the pricing now for Termite is not something that we are announcing now here to everyone, but we are working on, as I mentioned, the resources is limited. We are going to one-to-one cases, but we are of course flexible on that. And yeah, sure, we can have some.
Okay.
Mhm.
So they can contact you
Yeah, yeah,
directly and
sure,
then
definitely, definitely.
while you work on your business plan.
Mhm.
Now, Ines Caetano asks if it's possible to parametrically adjust the generated floor plans. That is, changing the areas ratio, door position, space semantics.
Mhm. Yes, if it's about how after generation they want to update it, that's one of the things that we are aiming in the 3D viewer. So the 3D viewer let the user update the walls and axes afterward. So this is also in our to-do list that we are trying to update it. But
Cool.
when it's so we were thinking about prioritizing these tasks, and we were thinking, okay, if we sync it with Revit, it's already 3D and it's very easy to update it in Revit maybe. So that's why we said, okay, maybe Revit will be the first, and then we go for the 3D viewer of the termite afterwards. So that's how we are managing that. So mhm.
Perfect. Thanks for your precise explanations. And the last question, this time by Eric Rivera. How editable are the resulting curves of the layout? What would be the ideal workflow to make specific manual adjustments to the layout?
I guess this is a little bit related to the previous question, I would say maybe.
I guess if it's
Um, yeah,
parametrically editable.
yeah. Actually, this is one of the things that we are trying to understand from the users as well, because we had a little bit of modification as I showed in the 22 version that we had this reviewer uh, that was it was enabling a user to update the layout, but I guess it's a bit tricky to understand what is the most efficient UX from the client. So that's what we are aiming to have a little bit more feedback and then make a major update on that.
Understand? So to all attendees, please download Termite AI,
Mhm.
give it a try, test it properly, and send Mohammed your feedback and suggestions.
Mhm.
There are no more questions. Many thanks for your presentation. Many
Thank you
thanks
so much. Thank
for
you
your
so much for today.
answers.
Yeah,
And also
yeah.
many thanks to the attendees for making these webinars possible and with very nice attendance. Tomorrow, the recorded session of the webinar will be available on the food4Rhino YouTube channel. I will send all attendees, including the ones that missed a part of the webinar, the exact link to watch it. So again, thank you very much. Have a nice evening and
You
see
too as
you soon.
well. Have a nice evening. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye.